Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Any Lange Söhne Datograph Perpetual will be rare, but in platinum on a matching factory platinum bracelet, this is indeed a rare bear. The watch is large. The standard Datograph back in 2006, when this model launched, was 39 millimeters. But in 2006, this watch at 41 millimeters previewed a size that would later be offered on the Datograph up-down. So this is a 41 millimeter diameter watch. It is 14.1 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip. It is 49.9 millimeters. And if we include the end lengths of the bracelet, it's just a little bit broader across the wrist with a total distance side to side of 50.4 millimeters and a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now throwing the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you can notice it is big and it's got a lot of presence. All in platinum, you feel it. It's a mighty thing and you can tell where the money went. If you believe that a lightweight watch is the antithesis of luxury, you're not into aluminum, titanium, ceramic, sapphire, look no further. This thing, eyes closed, lets you know it means business. Also, because it is on a bracelet with a clasp on the bottom, if you want to wear your watch loose, it's not going to want to move around as much because it's well weighted from top to bottom. It's balanced. Now, you can see over the top that the lugs are out to the edge of my wrist, but not beyond. You can see even better down the barrel that the lugs are somewhat inboard of the edge of my wrist. So though my wrist is 16, I think you could go down 1 centimeter and still wear this on a 15 centimeter circumference wrist. We've got a sloped domed bezel, so this watch should slide underneath a dress cuff. The bracelet, signed by Wellendorf, which was a longtime supplier of bracelets to Lange, and they are cost no object. Full platinum here. You can see polished and satin links. We have a little bit of a taper down from the conforming end link towards the bracelet. You can see that here. You'll also appreciate that they're all open, airy, and pinched in their center, creating a complex surfacing effect. You can also see that there are 3 different sized links. There's the outer links, there's the satin intermediates, then there are the tiny polished intermediates, and they're all sort of wasp-waisted or pinched at the center of the link. It's a wonderful fluid aerated bracelet. It doesn't tend to trap heat, sweat, moisture, grit because there are so many perforations between the links. It's wonderfully comfortable the way a Rolex Jubilee is comfortable. We have removable links fixed by screws on either side. We have a double folding clasp that is friction fit. Take a look inside. It is platinum 950. There we have the little marks, made in Germany by Wellendorf, which is a Pforzheim area jeweler. Now you have the Lange logo externally, again a friction fit snap shut clasp. Rolling back to the case, standard Lange. Lugs stepped out from the case band. Mid-case satinated, lugs, case back, and bezel all polished. The bezel has a sort of soft crease that transitions to a vertical lip, and then above that there's the domed profile that joins with the sapphire. Vintage-inspired rectangular chronograph pushers, a Lange Söhne branded crown. We do have pusher adjusters for all the individual calendar indications, but here's the brilliance of this watch. Let's say you put it down and it stops for 3 days. Well, you pull the crown out, and then this trigger up at 10 o'clock indexes everything in sync. Notice how the day, the date, even the moon phase are moving in sync. This will also adjust the month. It will also adjust the leap year. So if you fall 3 days behind, pull out the crown to enable the system and then go 1, 2, 3, and then just set your time. You're good to go. It's also a smart system because the movement itself will lock out the quick adjustment system between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So it's a very smart watch without being a smart watch. The dial is made of a disc of solid sterling silver, so not only is the case and bracelet combo platinum, but the dial is precious metal. So the sterling silver for the dial, white gold for the moon phase disc, the hands, the date frame, as well as the indices and the numerals. And the idea there is very simply that that material won't oxidize or tarnish over time. The Lange moon phase discs are always made of solid gold, in this case white gold, and they have a 122-year adjustment interval from adjustment to adjustment. It is a perpetual calendar, which means you don't have to touch it, provided you keep it running until the year 2100. We also have the panorama datum, or the outsize date, and we have a little AM/PM indicator on top of the running seconds and the day of the week indicator. We'll demonstrate the flyback chronograph capability because this is a flyback chronograph. Reset and restart without first stopping for timing events that occur in rapid succession. And we have a tachymeter scale on the dial base 400, and you can use that with the chronograph seconds hand to gauge the speed of an object such as a race car over a kilometer. For a dress watch, it's fairly sporty. There's a good deal of Loom here. And it should go without saying that this being a Lange, we have a hacking seconds function. Rolling it all over, it's a bit difficult to capture the movement on a watch with a bracelet. But taking a quick look here, you can see caliber L9521 based on the Datograph's historical L951. The main difference here is the addition of the perpetual calendar. You can appreciate the large, slow-beating balance. 18,000 vibrations per hour adjusted in 5 positions. You could see it's free sprung effectively because all the adjustments are done with variable inertia bolts on the balance rim. And it has an overcoil hairspring, so in all 5 positions, plus the 6th untested position of this watch, it'll keep very consistent time. And this watch does have the chronometer and high horology standard 5-position adjustment. We have a combination of a black polished column wheel and a traditional steel lateral clutch. All this water resistant down to 30 meters with a 36 to 38 hour manual wind power reserve. And then you can see that the bridges and plates are made of German silver, a nickel copper zinc alloy, whose copper gives it that golden hue. We have both polished and fire blued screws here. They serve different purposes. And then we have, and if you're wondering what are those purposes, the polished screws are generally associated with the adjustment of chronograph and time-telling features, whereas the blue screws are associated with fixing parts in place, such as pivot jewels or bridges. And that's a little note to the watchmaker to be aware of those polished screws for adjustment's sake. So, column wheel feels among the finest I've ever encountered, and you can see that some of the finishing is exquisite. Look at the steel clutch for the chronograph. Now take a look at that black polished spring that loops around to the clutch, plus the fact that the clutch has both outward points and inward angles that have been beveled in steel. Inward angles, difficult to achieve on German silver or brass, even tougher on tight, inwardly confined steel components. All the chronograph components are satinated on their top or black polished with beveling on their sides. You can see that there is ungulage on the edge of these German silver bridges. Freehand engraving on the balance cock. No two are exactly alike. Black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism. We have stripes across the bridges, engine turned perlage on the base plate, and satination on the wheels. It is quite impressive. A good-looking watch, and one that is simply packed with features with exclusivity assured by the uncommon combination of a Datograph Perpetual with a bracelet. And it's a rare one, as this particular model was only made from 2006 to 2011, and then not all of them had the bracelet. So reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.